Hey guys, what's going on? All right, so this video was technically going to be for yesterday, but there was just so much information that came out, like literally out of the blue. I'm talking, my Twitter kept going off and off and off. Anyway, shout out to everybody who tagged me and everything, and let's just go over here, man. My DMs were wild. Dude was like, yo, Bit, it happened. You were on the money. I'm like, what's going on? So the first thing I'm gonna touch upon in this, okay, was Hermen Hulst. Hermen Hulst was the first thing I saw. It was from Jeff Gilley. It said Hermen Hulst is no longer co-CEO of PlayStation. In fact, it said he was going to be obviously his. So basically, Hermen Hulst had two roles. A lot of you probably didn't know this or maybe forgot. But Hermen Hulst had two roles. He was co-CEO with Nishino. They both overran PlayStation. They were both doing a dual partnership, dual perspective type of approach for the company. Hermen Hulst clearly wanted to push the live service games, and the live service games, let's just say, have not been the most profitable for them. I mean, granted, they did have one game with Helldivers 2. Helldivers 2 was really, really well received and could have been even more in terms of being a bigger game for them if they didn't do the online requirements. More on that in a second. After that, it also, obviously under Hermen Hulst's push, they came out with Concord. Concord came out and is literally received to be one of the biggest failures in PlayStation's history, because the game literally didn't even last a week and it was already canceled and the studio was shut down. So when I heard that he was, quote unquote, being demoted, I was okay. Is he going down? Like, is he leaving? It's like, no, he's still president of PlayStation Studios, which was his main job. So he still has the promotion. But a lot of people failed to realize that Hermen Hulst was in a temporary position when it came to Nishino. So he never really was like the permanent guy. It was a time thing. Anyway, the biggest thing I took away from this, because I saw people was like, oh, I want him gone. Hermen Hulst is gone. And I'm like, oh, you poor bastards. you guys literally pick and choose who you guys want to cheerlead to push agendas. But let me tell you something. What I'm about to tell you should be the biggest wake-up call of all time of what you guys could have done to prevent this from happening. But unfortunately, we're now at the end game, ladies and gentlemen. So people were hyping up Nishino being obviously PlayStation's CEO, because he's Japanese, if I remember correctly. And Sony's stock went up. But here's the funny thing. Sony's stock went up not because of Nishino being the CEO of PlayStation. Oh, no. Their stock went up because of the new CEO of Sony as a whole. For those of you that don't remember who Hiroki Totoki is, Hiroki Totoki is the very CEO who went viral in terms of talking about Sony's true endeavors, their true push, what they really want for a future. Ever since Hiroki Totoki even came on the scene, Sony has been throwing small subliminals your way and telling you what they want to do, especially with the Beyond the Console promo that they did, I think at CES, where they were showing off attraction pieces, getting the most out of games, turning all that stuff. Hiroki Totoki wants PlayStation games to be multi-platform. And if you don't believe me, let's go ahead and roll the clip for you guys, for those of you that might have forgotten what Hiroki Totoki truly wants for PlayStation. Let's go ahead and run it.
And the other potential driver is the first-party title generation. Because in the past, as you all know, we wanted to popularize console. And the title was something, and the first-party title main purpose was to make the hardware or the console popular, right? It is true, right? But there's a synergy to it. So if we have a strong first-party content, not only with our console, but also other platforms like computers, and the first-party can be grown with multi-platforms, and that can help operating profit to improve. So that's another one that we want to practically work on. I personally think there are opportunities out there for improvement of margin. So I would like to go aggressive on improving our margin performance.
So, as you guys clearly can see, Hiroki Totoki, this is the new CEO, not of PlayStation, no, of Sony as a whole. This is the new Kaz Hirai of PlayStation. His vision for PlayStation is on more than one platform. And guess what? I'm all for it. And so should you. Game budgets are at an all-time high. Sony clearly wants more money out of these games because these games are getting too expensive, insanely expensive at this point. You got game budgets going into the 400 millions for sequels. Like Spider-Man 2 was 300 something million. Sony wants more out of these games. Granted, let me just stop myself here for a second. Granted, Sony is making a ridiculous amount of money this generation. They are dominating this generation. The thing is, though, is to increase their profit margins more so, even more so. That's the point of what they want. They want to increase those profit margins even more so they can make even more acquisitions. They can invest in even more things, whether it be a studio or outright buy something, whatever the case they want. They want to have that leeway. They want to have that, that back burner type of cash where they're good. And keep in mind, you got to understand too, Sony as a whole is reliant heavily on the PlayStation brand. People put PlayStation console as the main source of revenue in terms of like what they truly, rely on. And you're 50-50 here. It's mostly the software for the most part. Sony has confirmed that they sold over 70 million units for PlayStation 5. So PlayStation 5 is doing great, but keep in mind, PlayStation 5 could be doing even better if we had a better structure in place in regards to content flow when it comes to the box. Most of the stuff we played for PlayStation 5, we've already played on PlayStation 4. PlayStation 5 is literally running off the coattails of PlayStation 4 in terms of the launch. That's the main reason why PlayStation 5 has even gotten so much more pacing. But I saw a bunch of naysayers like, oh, this doesn't mean nothing. This doesn't mean nothing. Sony's not gonna do anything. Sony's not gonna do this. And then, ladies and gentlemen, we saw some changes. Like literally, it all happened at once. That's why I said I didn't do the video. It all happened back to back to back. One of the first things they said was starting in January 2026, it says that PS4 games will no longer be a key benefit and will only be occasionally offered for PlayStation Plus monthly games and games catalog. We may still provide titles that can be playable on both PS4 and PS5 consoles after this date. So yeah, that was the first thing. They're getting rid of PS4 titles on PS Plus in 2026. So you enjoy your year for 2025. Sony's leaving cross-gen. I'm loving that. First of all, that was great. But here's where the entire thing went crazy. So as you guys already know, Spider-Man 2 is launching this month. A lot of people have been waiting for the pre-orders for Spider-Man 2. People are like, what's going on? People are like, oh, it's probably delayed. I had idiots saying like, oh, you're debunked. See, they're saying that Spider-Man 2 is delayed, so this right here debunks your conversation. And then, ladies and gentlemen, Sony announced that they were removing the online requirement in terms of the login for PSN, for PC users for a whole bunch of their games. This includes God of War, this includes Spider-Man, this includes a whole bunch, including Horizon Zero Dawn, etc. Now, no mention of Helldivers, obviously, but I'm pretty sure you all can put 2 and 2 together. All the games that have had an online requirement will officially lose that. This is one of the funniest talking points that people try to argue with me about, saying that, oh, shut up. Sony, the PC community got to get in line. They got to fall in line like the rest of us to make it fair. First of all, I keep trying to tell y'all, the PC community is a different beast. The PC community is what you guys should be in the PlayStation side, demanding better, standing on business, not buying stuff, not falling for shady practices, actually putting your foot down and just telling them what you want. The problem is, and I always will stand on this square and no one can debate me on it. Whenever there is a problem that needs to be addressed, dudes would rather argue on social media about the most petty and worthless shit instead of the stuff that matters. People don't even pay attention to what's happening in front of them. They'd rather mask an issue by talking about something irrelevant, like Microsoft. What does Microsoft got to do with Sony's problems? Nothing. Why every time we ask, we have to call out something? Dudes got to mask it and bring up Xbox and their failures as if that has anything or any bearing on what is happening with PlayStation. People talking about Microsoft is dead, Xbox is about to go bye-bye, when the biggest game that Microsoft has, you idiots are buying in droves. In fact, so many of you bought it, it was like 63% of it on PlayStation, of you buying their game. You guys are supporting Microsoft, the very platform that you want going. Microsoft is still here living off of you. You would rather support Microsoft than the very first party studios that you claim to be so passionate about. Think about how stupid you sound now and how stupid you look. Microsoft's not going anywhere. And neither is PlayStation, after what we're about to get into. As you guys already heard with Hiroki Totoki. Hiroki Totoki wants to go the multi-platform route. This is something we've been talking about for quite some time. Day and date release to PC. Because why? Sony doesn't have... Sony can't afford to really just fuck around with this stuff. Sony's going to go through the same restructuring type of phase that Microsoft has went through. I'm not saying Microsoft games or PlayStation games are going to be on Xbox consoles. No, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying Sony's going to go that route. I'm saying Sony's going to go a very, very... they're going to go a route that a lot of people were in so denial about. They were saying that it will never happen in terms of PC, but PC literally is about to be the bread and butter in terms of their first party catalog. PC is about to be it. PC is about to get a whole lot of incentives. In fact, they flat out even confirmed that PC gamers will be getting incentives if they choose to sign in to PSN on PC. They would get free additional, items and whatnot for games for games that are running obviously on their PC through PSN. You would get free content. All of this, again, is optional. I want you to think about something here because people brought up value. I heard people bring this up so many times and I laughed at it. What is value to you? Is value to you really, it doesn't really depend on someone else being able to play a fucking game? I know this is weird coming from me as someone who stood on this square and argued with exclusives for years back in the day. But as you guys clearly can see, I have grown up and this industry has grown as well. Games have gotten more ambitious. This industry has gotten more ambitious. Things have changed in general. We don't have the same type of... this isn't the same situation anymore. Studios are closing. Developers being laid off like Ben Studios, etc. Something's got to give, people. I be telling y'all this. I think I was joking, but something's got to give. What really matters to you? Do you care more about bragging rights with exclusives, or do you care about the survival of this industry? For me, I choose the industry. This industry gave me a lot. I'm number one. It saved me from depression. I'll always be indebted to this. I always love what I do. And what gaming has done for me as a whole. I'm always going to be indebted to this. And I'm always going to stand on the square. And I'm always going to tell it how it is. I refuse to sit here and watch something that I love die as a whole because some people want to play... dudes want to play politics with something as simple and petty as a damn exclusive on a platform. I'm not doing that. Gaming is so much more than that. And it should be treated as more than that. But again, a lot of people, man, they don't see it as such. At the end of the day, man, Sony is about to go through the biggest change that we've ever seen through this generation. And I'm loving this. Come April 1st, we're going to see, big changes in PlayStation. But we're already seeing them now. But again, this year, we haven't even gotten to February yet. I'm curious to see what else happens with PlayStation now that the door has been opened all the way. Beforehand, it was creaked open and then it was wedged open. Now the door is completely open and everything is coming in droves. Sony knows what needs to be done to make money. It's not about, selling 70 million consoles anymore. Sony's not ever going to touch PlayStation 2 sales. The Nintendo is the one who's more likely going to hit that. In fact, I think they damn near got it with the Switch, excuse me. So Sony's not going to hit those numbers anymore. Sony knows that there is a ceiling with console gaming, especially with the way things are going to go in the future. Console gaming is only going to get more and more expensive in terms of buying these little boxes. Development costs is going to be even more expensive, etc. Especially when you want to push the boundaries and get out there with PC-like equivalents. They know damn well what they need to do. And unfortunately, it comes with a price, people. It comes with a price tag. And, you know, people need to give it the times. It was a long run. Listen, it was a long run. It was a good run with this whole exclusive arguments. It was a good run. It was fun debates. It was good times arguing with all the sides. I'm not just talking about PlayStation. I'm talking about Xbox as well. It was a good times. We had some good memories talking about exclusives and arguing about what was going to do good and whatnot. But as you guys clearly can see, that caught up with us. Now the very thing that dudes like to talk about, well, those very exclusives are about to go bye-bye altogether. And, hey, I'm all for it. More gamers getting to play and greenlighting the exclusives that I want, or greenlighting the sequel, that I want, or greenlighting the future games that I want. I am all for it. If this leads to me getting my Infamous, my Resistance, which, by the way, just got trademarked again. Guys forgot about that, yeah. Oh, yeah, I'm still on it, baby. I'm still on that. But if this leads to all this stuff happening, I see no reason to be complaining about anything. If you're a gamer who loves PlayStation for PlayStation, this does not affect you at all. If you care about PlayStation strictly for the fact that you want to be part of a conversation, a minuscule conversation about arguing and bickering about something stupid as one side can play this over the other, I hate to break it to you, that conversation is the main reason why PlayStation is in the situation that it is now. Some of you will rather argue than go and buy the very things you talk about. And that, ladies and gentlemen, that's not me talking out my ass. That is a blatant fact, as it was proven with this generation, with the crazy 180 pivot from what we got with PlayStation 4. PlayStation 5 this generation will go down as the generation that Sony woke up and said, you know what, we don't need exclusive to sell a box. All we need is our name and some good ass games. And that's exactly how everybody's going to be playing ball in the future. It's not going to be about exclusives. It's going to be about who has the games, who's going to have games in general, and who's just going to deliver an awesome consumer experience. Who's going to offer value at the end of the day. And that's what it's going to come down to. So pick your poison. Have fun with it. Me personally, hey, I'm all for it. I'm looking at a brighter future of gaming, less arguing, less bickering, and you know what? More actual people playing games. That right there is the best thing about this. Let me know what you think about this in the comment section below. Long overdue we have gotten here, but hey, like all stories, they eventually come to an end. Hope you guys enjoy. I'll catch you guys later, my fellow gamers. Enjoy your day. Peace.